Hello and welcome to Jet Scale Models, and today we are going to be getting into a brand new thing, and this is what they call the Puma, otherwise technically SDKFZ 234-2. You can see by the packaging that this is a recent release from Mini Art Models, and while there are other kits out there, I have been looking forward to this one just because of the known amount of detail that Mini Art puts into their kits. So let's take a look at the instructions. In World War II, Germany developed a lot of armored cars, and the development of the 8-wheeled heavy armored car continued with the SDKFZ 234 series of heavy reconnaissance vehicles, which were partially based on earlier experiences with the SDKFZ 231 series. Only some 510 SDKFZ 234 series vehicles were manufactured from November of 1943 to April of 1945. They were the heaviest German armored cars produced during the war and were an attempt to create standard vehicle platform to suit various and ever-changing needs of the battlefield. All vehicles were able to obtain high speeds on the road, and their cross-country performance was comparable to tracked vehicles. The German Armament Ministry, in their report from March of 1945, stated that production of the SDKFZ 234 series will continue and was to be increased to 100 units per month. The potential for future development and upgrades was the main reason behind the decision to keep SDKFZ 234 as the only armored car in production following March of 1945. The overall performance of the SDKFZ 234 series vehicles made them the best armored cars in the world at the end of World War II. SDKFZ 234/2 Puma. The first vehicle of the series was Schwerpanzerspähwagen 5 cm SDKFZ 234, later redesignated to SDKFZ 234/2. These specifications for the new vehicle were established in August of 1940 and included that it was to be based on a chassis similar to the SDKFZ 231, but powered by an air-cooled diesel engine and needed to be able to operate in rough terrain. The new chassis by Bessing-Nag, model 8-Rad TP, or 8-wheeled tropical, armor was to be sloped and protection was to be increased, and ventilation for the crew was stressed to the possible service in tropical climates. The crew compartment was located at the front and the engine compartment at the rear. The original project was designated ARK, 8-Radwagen, and 8RTP, also known as 8-Rad TP, 8-wheeled tropical, and specified that the new vehicle should weigh 12 tons with maximum armor protection of 30 millimeters in the front and armed with a 20 millimeter gun and single machine gun. Maximum speed was estimated to be 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. In July of 1942, specifications were slightly changed and new armament was to be a 50 millimeter KWK 39/1 L/60 gun and a single 7.62 millimeter machine gun 42. First production vehicle was produced in December of 1943 and 100 were produced in Bessing-Nag until June of 1944. Chassis number 5001 to 5100. Original designation was SDKFZ 234, but in March of 1944 it was changed to SDKFZ 234/2. The vehicle was unofficially nicknamed Puma. The main 50 millimeter gun was mounted in a new turret designed by Daimler-Benz, an improved version of Panzerspähwagen II aus L-Lux light reconnaissance tank and the never-realized Leopard tank. Main gun was fitted with TZF-4B gun sight. The gun was the same main armament of the Panzerkampfwagen III aus J, L, and M medium tanks. The machine gun was mounted on the left side of the gun in the gun mantlet. Inside vehicle storage allowed room for 55 50 millimeter rounds and 2,850 7.96 and 2,850 7.92 millimeter rounds, as well as the single 9 millimeter MP38 with 192 rounds. Crew consisted of commander, loader, gunner, and 2 drivers. Communication between the crew was done with the use of intercom and radio equipment. The radio equipment consisted of FU, SPR, GER, F, but some vehicles were equipped with additional radio equipment. The vehicle was powered by 12-cylinder Tatra 103 air-cooled diesel engine producing 220 horsepower. The gearbox had 6 forward and 6 reverse gears. Maximum speed on the road was 80 kilometers an hour, and maximum road range was 1,000 kilometers, while fuel capacity was 360 liters. So we're starting off with some of the basic interior parts. We've got to make a cross member in A, which is comprised of 2 parts, C38 and C37. And then we've got the B part that we've got to make 2 of those. And then once those are done, we have another section called C, where we have a drive shaft and maybe a differential and some supportive walls and bulkheads that has to go together. And then after that, we'll get into building the lower part of the hull, and into that we will insert the B and the C parts as well as the A. Now, the thing about the way they've put this hull together is that it is the old-fashioned kind of like slab construction. So you'll have these 3 pieces to put together, and that will create your lower tub. They also ask you to make a couple of ammo boxes, and then we get into where the driver's positions are. We'll get into some of the other interior pieces, and then we'll be at a certain point up to maybe step 15-ish, where we'll start looking at maybe doing some painting. So we've got part A done, part B, and got to make C happen. But I think I'm going to jump to this part before I glue C together. It'll help align everything properly. Alright, let's take a closer look at this lower portion here of the chassis. One thing I notice is there's like a really fine weld bead here. So that's cool. Okay, here is one of the B's. I made 2 of those. So how you can tell which side is which after you cut it off the sprue, this has got a little pointy part right there, and the other end doesn't. So that'll be good. And then this one has the slots in the back. So that goes like that. So there's a bit of a cleanups with the attachment points here, which is, you know, that's what you do when you build models. You have to clean up attachment points. Okay, so I've glued this one here at the front just to have a little control, but you need to remember to keep this one back here, at least on one side, open so that you can fit that in. Part B44 will go into part B6. All right, so here I've glued M54 and M53 together. I guess this is a transfer box, is my guess. But who knows? It'll never be seen, but I'll clean up the seam. So you've got a D shape on this side, like that. So there seems to be a bit of a slant. But no, I was wrong. Okay, so there's these two little indents on either side, and this thing has got two little blips that fit into those. Cool. Alright, that looks cool. You know, whenever I build one of these interior kits from Mini Art, I always think, you know, it would be good to show all this interior stuff with like a diorama of an exploded or burnt out vehicle, right? Alright, so this part has got to go in before anything else. Oh man. So I don't know if it matters which way that goes. Should need to sand it more. All right, this part here, it's really fought me going in there, and I sanded and filed, and it's still weird. I think maybe the bottom, just chop those two tabs off, because I don't know. Anyways, it won't be seen. Oh, you know why? Because I got it in the wrong place.
What an idiot!
You see, user error is usually the problem with model kits. What an idiot I am. Idiot. Well, thank God it won't be seen.
Oy, oy, oy. It's like, I don't know. Am I like sleepwalking or what? So that goes like that. Ugh, idiot. Okay. So that's done. There's some ammo boxes, but we're gonna leave those for now. B15 and the two side things. And I see here I've got to drill out some holes. All right, so we need A2 and A1. All right then. Clean those up and I'll be right back. All right, just so you know, there's these little tiny bumps here, here, and there. And on here, these little recesses as well that they need to fit. So that'll help you not glue the wrong side on. As you can see, I was about to do that. Even though I was looking at the drawing, I was somewhat confused because apparently this is looking inward. All right, before we go too much further though, I've got to remember to drill these holes out here. I'm not sure what they're for. Oh, I guess I didn't need to drill that one out. Whatever. So, back to this now. All right. So I'm going to use a thicker glue because that other stuff would just... I need to clean that up a bit more. It'll cause me a problem later. All right, so now that is somewhat in position, I can come back with this thinner glue and just reinforce it. All right, so I kind of missed doing this one here. All right. So that'll go there. But you just got to make sure you get rid of all that open area there. Alright, so we got this part A3. I'm going to glue this in before I glue the other side, just so that there's some support. Alright, so that goes on this end. Like that. All right. Okay. So hold off on this for now. We'll add this to that. Damn it. Okay, I've taken this one off because it was having some issues. Might be better to put this on and get that all good before you stick this one on. I had an issue right up here and I don't know why. Everything else laid down pretty good, but just that one side right here at the front was an issue. Oy, oy, oy. These sort of flat-sided hulls are always a bit of a problem, no matter what kit or what manufacturer, because everything has to line up perfectly, and often that's really hard to do. Okay, this part off just to see how it fits with the bottom. Okay, so those are locked in there. Now you can see, oh, here we have that. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is all pretty much there. I may have to revisit some of these weld beads because when I was gluing and maneuvering, it might have oozed out more than I wanted, but we'll see. Maybe some of that doesn't even like concern me once everything is in place. All right, let's take a look at doing this one here. Gotta drill some more holes. We've got some linkages here. So So it says 02. What is 02 in the color callout? 02 they've got as cream weiß, otherwise known as I want the next bigger one. I wonder why they don't include these holes. I guess it has something to do with how they do the molds, or perhaps different versions of this kit have different things. All right. So next we have to glue that in where, let's see. That goes there. Voila. Very tight fit. Let's just open up these holes from this side. All right, A11 right there. All right, looks like we need a couple of new pieces, like from the end sprue. So N1. That's one thing, I don't know if you all know this, but these kind of vehicles actually had steering wheels on both sides, like on this side and on this side. So I guess you could get out of a sticky situation pretty good. All right, so we've got that all in. All right, so let's get into some M parts. We'll go back and do this one. So M1. Oh. Hmm.
All right, guys, we're at the end of another exciting episode here. And make sure you join us next week for another episode in this 234/2 Puma build. Yeah, I might be getting into some painting on the next episode, because this is one of those weird kits where maybe you got to paint the inside before you even finish building the outside. In any case, all that's left for me to say is, in the meantime and in between time, that's another edition of Jet Scale Models. Y'all come back now, you hear?